People come to a gym, people want to get fit, and because they want to look a certain way, usually, right? That's the first thing. They want to lose weight. What do you find is the best? What gives the best result to get somebody to lose weight and get that fit body?
I mean, I love this question. I feel like it could go a million different ways. But what is the best way for somebody to achieve their fitness goal or aesthetic goal, to lose weight or gain weight in some cases, very rare cases, but to change the way that they look, right? To alter the way they look. And I would say the non-simple answer is nothing changes if nothing changes.
For sure.
Seems obvious, seems simple.
But you see that a lot.
But that happens 9 times out of 10, why people don't succeed or why they quit. And it gets really sad when people give up on themselves. Other people don't usually give up on them. It's you that gives up on yourself, and that's really sad.
Yeah.
But the easiest, quickest, simplest way is pick something that's easy to achieve. Don't pick a goal that's 5 days, 6 days. Start with 1 or 2. Start with 1. 1 is better than none.
And being like 1.
1 is my goal for the week. One day.
Okay. And that's a non-negotiable. We're not dropping that 1 off, right?
Yeah.
It's right.
1. If you go 7, cool. But that 1 needs to happen.
Right. Yeah.
Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
And then after 3 weeks, check in. Add 2. Now we're at 2. Now we're at 3. Increase it slowly. But I find that so many people try to go crazy, cold turkey.
Let's can't sustain it.
Throw out the pantry. Let's do this. Now I'm coming 7 days a week, and they just get burnt out. It's hard to maintain that. Start with 1.
For sure. I think that's good advice too. I think this is my analysis, non-coach, non-professional, is that a lot of people, because I've been here for 5 years, and I changed dramatically in my first 3 months here. You probably don't even remember it. But it went from dad bod belly, 180 pounds to like 150 pounds.
Yeah.
Because I mixed dieting, macros, which I never done, and tracking and working out in an environment I've never been in before.
Something new.
My body was like, what the fuck? Because I was just a runner and a motocrosser.
Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah. So my body dramatically changed. But I think a lot of people come here and because HIIT training or CrossFit training is so intense, I think a lot of people think, man, I fucking smashed it this morning or whatever, right, today. I had an hour workout. Yeah. I could eat whatever the fuck I want, right? And you see a lot of people that don't get results, right? And you know that's what's happening, right? There's
100%.
Because they're showing up here and throwing down and fucking look like they're
sometimes,
dying.
or they think that they are.
Or they think they are, right?
Correct.
And then they're not doing the other half with the nutrition, right? So you know what worked for you diet-wise, right? Me and you have gone
all over.
Paleo, caveman, carnivore, right? And we know what worked for us. Is it hard to tell people what diet? Do you try to default to what worked for you? Or do you stick to like a macro, okay, this usually works the best to lose weight? You see what I'm saying? Because I think a lot, what worked really good for me was fasting, and I love fasting. So when people try to tell me, when I give advice, I lead people to fasting. Where you might say, carnivore diet, right?
This is a great question.
Do you go to your what you learned? I'm going to tell you this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I love this question. Nutrition is my biggest. I'm a science nerd. I've always liked science. Nutrition kind of falls under that blanket. For sure. And I've literally tried every single thing that you could try for nutrition, mainly because I feel like once I either put myself through something or can do it, I can teach it way better. And I was not always into nutrition. I was raised on Del Taco and like fast food. I was the most unhealthy person until I found fitness, which was only like 8 to 10 years ago. For
That's
me,
probably about me
when
too.
somebody comes to me and asks about nutrition, what should they do? I don't typically think that there's a blanket across the spectrum of this works best for everybody.
Absolutely not.
I
personal
do,
thing.
yeah, I
Yeah.
do agree that there's some things that work better for other people, and people's bodies respond differently to everything. The two pieces or the two basic things that I can give to anybody who knows nutrition, knows nothing about nutrition, is no ingredients. So if it's packaged, you should be able to read what that ingredient is if you're having that. And that should be maybe once a day that you're having something. Maybe. And that's like emergency, not all the time. Most of the time, you should be having things that do not have ingredients on it. And if they do have ingredients, you should be able to read it. That's number one across the board that I think we aren't built to have chemicals and shit that's plastic or weird science. You shouldn't be eating science words.
X's in front of every word.
You should not be eating science words for food. Number one. Number two is the easiest way to lose weight or make a change without changing your diet style. And when I say diet, that means what you eat in general, not that you're like restricting food, is eat half of what you're gonna eat. So whatever you normally would have, you're at grandma's table and she's got her food setting out for you. You make your normal plate and you eat half of it and save the other half of it for later. I think most of us in my generation, your generation, we were raised with that you can't leave the table until all of your food is gone because they're starving kids in Africa. And I think that created a lot of bad habits of having to eat everything off of your plate.
Yeah.
So eating half of what you normally would eat, whether you're out at a fast food place or dinner with the family, order your hamburger, box up the other half before you even eat the shit. Put it in the box, leave it for later. And that usually leads to people not overeating or consuming too much.
That's where I have to say that's why I like fasting, because I don't have that control. I can't do that. So that's
You do though, because you're able to not eat during these peak hours.
Yeah.
So you do have the control.
Well, like you said, like eat half your meal and put the other away. Once Daddy starts eating, Daddy starts eating it, and I'm gonna
once
eat that
that tank is open, it's difficult.
That's what I would struggle with is like I try to eat these lean breakfasts, right? Not only is it hard to just eat a portion of what you really want to eat, it also gets the system stimulated.
Oh yeah.
It gets, and you want food quicker, right? You want food within 2 or 3 hours because all of a sudden you just burnt the carbs that you just had.
Yeah.
And so your blood sugar you're going through insulin spikes and all these things. So if I just stay fasted, power through that hunger zone and hit a fucking heavy, high protein, high everything, good quality food, that's been the key to
for sure.
I've stayed at 150 pounds for 5 years straight.
Imagine
doing like the same thing all the time.
Imagine that you like remove that window, right? So I'm saying that's just general, somebody that's like wanting to make a change with their diet, not somebody that's already implementing.
I'm not trying to. I'm just saying that's why that worked for me. And the importance is
but that's
you're
still
saying,
restricting it. Yeah, you're restricting the time.
You're restricting. Yep.
Yeah.
But what method works good for you? What works for Billy? Right? Like maybe he has the ability to be like, oh, I can take that portion and eat that. I can't. I struggle with that. So that's why
fasting works well for you.
That's why fasting works for David. There's no, like you said, there's no blanket.
There's not.
It's fuck around and find out, like everything in life, right? Try all these different diets and methods and qualities of food. Anyways. All right, so
nutrition's so interesting.
Nutrition is, and like you said, I could talk about this forever because I'm passionate about it as well. So okay. So the next thing that I wanted to hit, I got about 5 minutes.
That's okay.
Supplements, male versus female.
Okay.
What do you think? Again, kind of like not what Kay does. What do you think is a general, like, okay, I think this is what you guys should be getting? Like protein, creatine?
This is a great question too. I love this. I get this almost every day, I would say. So what general supplements should people be taking?
Yes.
Male, female, everybody?
Yes. Or if any. Yep.
So supplement means that you're supplementing for something you're not getting, right? And a lot of people don't know this. I was a vegetarian or pescatarian for most of my life. I didn't start actually eating like animal protein until after COVID. And that was a really big 180 going from vegetarian, pescatarian to now I'm on the carnivore diet. And that was like a night and day.
Yeah.
It was fucking wild. But what I learned from that was food is food. Food is how you get your vitamins, minerals, macronutrients, and your micronutrients. And that's usually what people are supplementing. Everybody's different. Everybody's body absorbs different things. And I don't think that a general pack from GNC or fucking Amazon is going to give you what you need or me what I need. And that's, again, the blanketed pack.
Yeah.
I highly recommend if you're going to spend any money on supplements, go spend the money on a blood test to decide what you're lacking and what you're deficient in.
Good point.
Because your body could process things a little bit better than mine, and you could go buy this general pack that's actually hindering what you're already making or ingesting too much of.
Yeah.
Because everybody eats so differently. Yeah. So you could be higher in one thing, lower in another, and you're not hitting that in your general multivitamin pack or supplement pack. So that's no different than me being a vegetarian pescatarian and then taking a greens supplement. I'm probably getting enough greens because I'm eating more vegetables or more veggie stuff that's not a protein source.
I like what you're saying, and I try to stick to I try not to supplement. If I knew I was eating shit food, I would probably supplement on vitamins, right?
I would be a little bit more worried about it.
And I heard this a long time ago, was like, get your vitamins in your food.
For sure.
It's a 2-for-1, right? You're getting food, you're getting protein, 100%. Carbs, and fats, and now you're mixing vitamins in it. This is, and that's why I love carnivore or caveman diets, right? That's back to the basics, right? That's as basic as it gets.
It should be something that you could be fucking farming in your backyard and trading with your neighbor.
Exactly.
Like that's what you should be eating.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And I think the people that are further away from that probably could do better with supplements as far as like their micronutrients. If you're eating boxed food, you probably could be okay with your like basic supplements of like a general pack. But if you're eating boxed food and processed food, your vitamin pack is not going to save you. Right. Like you need to make a change on your food.
Good point. Yeah.
And get your vitamins through your food. So like think about this too. I mean, food for thought. Not every food was meant to be seasonal or available every day. You weren't supposed to go to the store or go to your neighbors and be able to have avocados every day, right? They came in season. The same thing with fruits and veggies and animals. And that's how your food should be. You shouldn't eat the same things. You should make some little variety.
You should be throwing your body curveballs constantly. And when I would supplement with vitamins, I would take vitamins on random days. It'd be like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I think your body needs intervals.
What vitamins did you take?
I would take like a GNC pack, multivitamins.
Just like a regular random.
Yeah, just a men's pack kind of thing. You know, it had some omega-3s, whatever.
I think if you're wanting to supplement, though, you should be.
And I was just doing it just to.
It's because you think that's what is supposed to make you feel better, right?
But as time goes on, and I'm actually, because I read this recently too. This is a quote. I hold on to quotes. It's insane. Addition by subtraction. That phrase, addition by subtraction. I've been implementing that in my whole, like I don't have sugar.
Less is more for sure.
Less is more. Like when it comes to food, I don't have sugar in my diet hardly. I'm like down to like 20 grams of sugar. I'm taking supplements out. I'm not even getting the protein shakes that I used to. I'm trying to I'm getting that in my eggs. I'm eating another couple of eggs a day instead of having a protein shake. And I just keep feeling better and better by applying
less
addition by subtraction. Yes.
It's simple. It's not that hard.
It's so fucking simple. And we all have that benefit of applying that principle the rest of our lives. in gaining,
Yeah.
right? Like gaining massively, you know, like addition by subtraction. Even when it comes to finances, like stop spending money on stupid shit, and you'll have a lot more money. Or, you know, anyways.
It's wild how people will complain about
everything in the world and everything's in their control.
$8 for a bike, right? A bike ride, like to rent a bike. Or,
Yeah, okay.
I'm just using something random. But then they have no problem spending
On a latte.
$30 at Starbucks daily, sometimes
Daily.
twice a day.
Daily.
And that or like the gym member. Let's use the gym membership.
Yep.
People will complain
all the time
about the gym membership.
Oh yeah, I can't afford that.
But you have no problem spending $30 a day on your coffee.
Yeah, you just went to Mama Carpino's last night and blasted $130, and
on shit that's gonna make you feel not good.
Yeah, it's just
it's wild
crazy.
where it's like, okay, I can't relate. That I can't relate to because I choose not to. I'm not gonna do that.
No, but people struggle. But hey, you know what? Like you
said,
micro improvements every day.
Yeah.
Will get you where you want to be. I'm 46 years old, and I'm finally where I want to be when it comes to a lot of things. When it comes to health, wellness, this and that. You know, like it takes a fucking long time. In my journey for food, I used to take SpaghettiOs and raviolis to work every day. I ate canned shit or Hungry Man frozen TV tray until I was 30-something years old. I did that shit. And then finally I was like, nah, dude. I started to wise up, and it's taken me 10 years to be at an elite level nutrition eater guy.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, probably...
It's just a constant, like, ebb and flow,
grind,
right?
all the way up until you die. And that should be the trajectory, is improvement until you die.
But that's what I think has happened from our generation, too, is like they constantly try to improve it by making it more convenient. They try to make it faster. They try to make it quicker.
That's the whole...
Simplicity, less is more, right? Addition by subtraction. I love that, where it's like,
it's great.
Just make it simple. It's not that hard.
I'm going to be late for work, but I'm enjoying our conversation. I want to hit on one more thing. It's fine. I got a flat tire. I'll use that one. Nobody's...
No, we don't need to lie. Just say it.
Yeah.
We got caught up.
Yeah, I got caught up.
We got caught up in conversation, and I'm sorry. We'll make it quick.
So we touched on nutrition very briefly, and then supplements. Oh, yeah. Injuries. Okay, this is somebody hit me up the other day. Somebody did, you know how people like to mock CrossFitters, right?
Which I'm sure you probably did too at some point.
Yeah, and so I made a comment back to this on Instagram, and I was like, oh, it's about kipping, right? People, the famous kipping.
Yep.
And I'm like, bro, you don't even know, dude. It's kipping is just as good and functional and hard as a strict pull-up, right? And he's like, yeah, okay, well, whatever. I still would never go to CrossFit because I hear you guys throwing around weights, and I see these guys with hurt backs and this and that. One, the fact that you said that, the fact that you internalized that tells me that, one, you don't ever want to, you were receptive to that for a reason.
Right.
It doesn't appeal to you, right? It doesn't appeal to you probably because you know it's hard work, right? And then the people that tell you that, they weren't receptive to it, so it's just downflowing, right, into the cups that will accept it from the cup that had it, right? Because CrossFit or functional fitness or HIIT training is, you're gonna fucking sweat. So I told this guy, he's like, well, you guys are all sore. I'm like, yeah, we're sore because we put in work.
Yeah.
And there's a fucking puddle on the ground, right? We're not just talking at 110 heart rate and getting a pump, which that's fine and great. I'm not knocking that because we do that too, right? What is the balance? I feel like one thing that I've learned being here a long time, and when everybody comes into say a CrossFit gym, I think they tend to go ham. They don't know how to regulate themselves, right?
Yeah.
And managing yourself, whether you're just whether you're in the gym, right, and you're going for that PR, right, or you're in a CrossFit gym and you want to have the fastest time. You need to learn how to manage yourself, right?
Yeah. That's ego, though.
And where I'm going with this is like injuries. Back to that conversation where you're like, yeah, people are sore that CrossFit, people are all fucked up in their joints. That could happen
anywhere,
any athletic discipline. And when I relate everything to riding a dirt bike, when I'm in the red on my dirt bike, I start to get a signal to back it down.
Yeah.
To back it down because I'm going to end up
Something's
in the
gonna
hospital.
happen. Yeah.
And it's the same thing in here.
Yep.
It's the same thing in any discipline. You start getting in the red, you need to start managing. So, I mean, would you agree that that's pretty much like when people get injured in CrossFit, or the image that it has of being sore, it's just probably, one, it's hard, two, probably mismanagement of their efforts and able to.
I think there's a lot that goes with it where it could.
I know that was a long version.
No, that's
a
okay.
question.
So injuries that happen, and I mean, I see it. I'm a little bit, my opinions have changed on it since I've been more exposed to different types of athletes in general. But usually injuries can happen to anybody. And I've seen the fittest people get injured, and I've seen the most deconditioned people get injured. And normally, I won't say all of the time, it happens because there's either a miscommunication between the coach and the athlete, in CrossFit specifically, where maybe the coach didn't do a great job of explaining, this is what you're going to do today, because this is where you're at, right? A new athlete I've never coached before, I'm giving them a whiteboard and they're following along too. This is your workout today. You're not necessarily following the same thing that David Foe's doing, because David Foe is way more conditioned than you. When people start to get injured, they start trying to catch up to you.
Keep it going.
Or their ego, right, is taking over, where they're trying to keep up with the class, which it's good and bad. That's why CrossFit in general usually has really good results, because you're pushing yourself harder than you would at home. Yep. But I also have seen people who listen, have no problems scaling down, in their opinion, right? Kind of tailoring it down. Not every day should feel like an Indy 500 in your workout.
Right.
But I see people that can go do jiu-jitsu for the first week and they're breaking their feet and their toes and their ankles, and you can do it anywhere. It's not just CrossFit, but it gets a bad name because so-and-so's nephew goes and does something and now they're out for 2 months of work because they twisted their ankle running. Yeah. But you can walk down the street and anything can happen. But the one thing I will say is if you're not challenging yourself, you're not living. So what are you doing? You're just kind of not dying. And I'd rather push myself, but that's where that ego has to kind of turn down a little bit to know your limit, know where that line is for you.
And when you're coaching and you say this a lot, you guys, yesterday was a hard workout, whatever, maybe make today easy, depends on what your exertion level was yesterday, but make today yours. And when you say that, workout. I hear that. I think, okay, yesterday I was a bitch, I'm going to go hard today. Or I was a fucking monster yesterday, and I'm going to go easy today.
And
we're all doing the same workout.
Yeah.
But he's going hard. We're all
maybe
doing.
he's just moving to recover.
Yeah,
maybe
he's coming back
brand new.
Yeah, so
and that's where it's like being okay, not seeming like the biggest, baddest dude on the playground.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's ego. That's where 100%. Like having to check your ego is the biggest thing to not get injured in any aspect of your life.
Yeah, and I didn't get injured in my first couple months or ever, but I definitely did go ham and probably was putting myself out there for an injury when I first started here, and I was working out with Colette. And I was
hard.
I've never worked out with a girl that was whooping my ass every day.
That's where CrossFit does get
and
challenging.
And it was like, I am not going to be okay with this. I need to beat her as soon as possible.
Plus, I can't let this happen.
Jordan was egging me on too. But those were good times.
It's fun, but that's where things can get dangerous for sure. And that's where, like, I would say CrossFit specifically, because there are so many female athletes in CrossFit, that it becomes very hard for people to have that in their mind that I can't let this girl beat me or lift more weights.
Because you're going to come across that.
And it happens more in CrossFit, I think, than in other places. Sure, so I think that's where it can kind of get that high volume.
Yeah, because a typical gym, you don't know that person. Maybe they are lifting more than you, but you don't even know it. They're on the other side of the gym.
Yeah, they're doing something different.
Everybody's in their own world. But when you get in this setting and you see how much she has on her bar, you're like, oh fuck, I better add more. And you're
that's
not thinking about your condition.
you get pulled out easily from that. And that's where I would say CrossFit probably has that percentage of happening a lot more than any other sport because it is female dominant more than male. And that becomes quick. But that's, again, that goes under ego. Check your ego, know your limit, but be comfortable pushing past uncomfortable, right? You shouldn't be comfortable always,
it's that,
but it's that fine line, like riding your fine line of where's your throttle of, okay, I can kind of tail it back. I can feel that something's going to happen. You ually know when some shit's going to go down right before it's going to go down. You usually know.
There
are signs.
There's signs.
There are signs there, for
there's
sure.
that little brain saying something or that body.
For sure.
Okay, Coach K. Thank you. That was fun.
That was fun.
Cool. All right, guys. Check these guys out. If you love golf but want to bring some serious style on and off the course, you have to check out Only Golf. This isn't your grandpa's golf gear. It's a perfect blend of streetwear and golf attire, made for looking dope both on the fairways and in the streets. Only Golf is straight out of SoCal, inspired by the game, the lifestyle, and a little extra flair. They drop fresh new gear every few weeks. So if you're into birdies, booze, friends, and fairways, this brand is for you. Hit up onlygolfclub.com to order now, and it'll be at your door in just a few days. And because you're a listener of the Faux Show, you get 20% off your order when you use FauxShow20 at checkout. Just head to onlygolfclub.com and gear up now.